Good evening. It's Wednesday, December 1st. We want to get you caught up on the biggest stories of the day.
And we begin this evening with 2 DeKalb County deputies wounded, a suspect dead after a shootout. The sheriff's office issuing this stern message.
This is not what will be tolerated in our community.
The sheriff's office saying Edward Gatling shot the deputies who were serving a warrant this morning in Lithonia.
The shooting in DeKalb County is just one of 2 officer-involved shootings that left a total of 8 people dead or hurt in just the last 24 hours. Last night in Clayton County, 5 people were shot, 4 of them killed. An officer was among the casualties.
We have team coverage on both shootings. We're going to start with CBS 46's Megan Packer in DeKalb County tonight. Megan, good evening.
Sean, hello. We are along Covington Highway where part of this road is still blocked off all these hours later, still causing a bit of a headache for people trying to get home tonight. You can see they're having to turn around. We are near Dekalb Medical Parkway. This is right where police found the suspect and ended up shooting and killing him hours after he had been accused of shooting 2 deputies.
Mr. Edward Gatling, I know you're out there. You will be brought to custody. You will be taken in. We will not tolerate this.
Within a few hours of DeKalb County Sheriff Melody Maddox sending that message to a suspect accused of shooting 2 of her deputies, the wanted man was found and killed by police. Edward Gatling hid for hours, prompting a huge response in Lithonia from more than a dozen agencies.
Please note, these officers go out every day and put their lives on the line to make sure that you can sleep, to make sure that you can play, and that you can enjoy your life.
Around 7:30 a.m., deputies attempted to serve a warrant to arrest Gatling for aggravated assault with intent to murder. He was accused of shooting someone several times with a high-powered rifle in October. When deputies arrived at a home on Wellington Circle, the sheriff says Gatling fired through the door, hitting deputies Jared Hunt and Aaron Jackson. With their brothers in blue in stable condition at the hospital, law enforcement from all over Metro Atlanta searched for the man who got away. Until a call came in saying Gatling was spotted hiding in the woods.
Atlanta SWAT, along with DeKalb County Police Department SWAT team, went to the wood line and caught sight of the individual. Gunfire was exchanged.
Gatling was killed. No officers were injured.
I'm just asking for the community to trust us. They need to trust us and know that we're here to do our job, and our job is to make sure that this community is safe, and we cannot be safe without the support of them.
And the sheriff says her 2 injured deputies were alert and talking when they were taken to the hospital today, even able to crack a few jokes, which she was very grateful to see. She says this serves as a reminder of the daily dangers law enforcement officers face on the job. Live in Lithonia, I'm Megan Packer, CBS 46 News.
Another tragedy in Clayton County. 4 people killed. A shooting, including Officer Henry Laxon. This scene playing out after a domestic call at a house in Rex, Georgia.
CBS 46's Jamie Kennedy is live there tonight, learning new details about the suspect and the victims. Jamie?
Yeah, good evening, Tracy. A very solemn feeling down here still in the community, as you can imagine. Everyone trying to piece together exactly what happened. New details from a neighbour a short time ago tell us of the 4 people killed, 2 were women. One of them was the suspect's mother, according to the neighbour, and the other woman was renting a home in the mother's house, which is just behind me and where all the events happened. A 12-year-old boy was shot during the incident as well. The neighbour says that was the suspect's son. Chaos in a quiet neighbourhood of Clayton County. Neighbours describing their community like a war zone.
Before the police got here, it was already 15 shots, approximately about 15 shots. Police get here, the first 2 police pulled up on the scene, another good 6 shots. After they retreat and get back, and then when the technical squad got here, that's when Afghanistan happened.
Clayton County Police say they received a domestic violence call to Jervis Court in Rex, and as soon as they arrived, things escalated quickly.
We had calls of possible gunfire, domestic violence, and persons down at a residence. The initial responding uniformed patrol officers were actually met by a 12-year-old juvenile who had been shot in the face.
Police say they found a woman lying motionless in a neighbour's front yard, attempted to render aid and were immediately met with gunshots. It was then the suspect, now identified by police as 35-year-old Arthur Allen Gilliam, ran to the back of the house, according to witnesses, where he met a SWAT team and shot and killed Officer Henry Laxon and shot Officer Alexa Chandler in the hand. Police eventually shot and killed Gilliam and later found another dead woman inside Gilliam's residency. Friends, family and Clayton County Police on Wednesday still coming to grips with the deadly event.
He was their best, and Officer Chandler was right there with him. The world that we live today, there's a lot of mistakes and there's a lot of darkness, but Officer Laxon was one person that was a good officer, and he was a great person.
Now, we're still trying to learn the condition of the officer who was shot in the hand and of the 12-year-old boy. You heard there just from the friend. He tells me that Officer Laxon didn't have any children, but that he was engaged to be married. Live in Clayton County, Jamie Kennedy, CBS 46 News.
Jamie, thank you. New tonight,
I'm Andre Dickens. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, Atlanta! Let's go!
Atlanta has spoken. You watched it here on CBS 46 last night. Andre Dickens elected as the city's 61st mayor. Last night, Dickens celebrated. Tonight, he's getting ready to hit the ground running when he takes office in January. Dickens won handily with 64% of the vote. He had 22,000 more votes than his opponent, former City Council President Felicia Moore. CBS 46's Haley Mason is live tonight with the latest details and really how Andre Dickens is ready to lead the city.
Tracy, we just heard a very excited Andre Dickens speaking in a victory speech last night. And after that, he tells us this morning he got about 2 hours of sleep before getting up and hitting the ground running to thank his supporters and begins a meeting with state officials to start working toward building a better Atlanta.
Let's go, Atlanta! Let's go!
Mayor-elect Andre Dickens says he's living out his lifelong dream.
When I was at Georgia Tech, I would introduce myself as, "Hi, I'm Andre Dickens. I'm a freshman in chemical engineering, and I want to be the mayor of Atlanta."
He spoke that into existence. After years of hard work, Dickens propelled through a heated runoff against his former council member Felicia Moore to be elected the 61st mayor of Atlanta.
The mayor of Atlanta is the heartbeat of the whole region, and so I take that soberly and responsibly.
Dickens is planning to work in the city's top seat to first address crime.
Give me 100 days, 120 days to bring down the violent crime wave, to also make sure that the city services are up and operating at the level that the citizens deserve. We can start showing that path right away, and in the first 120 days, while the state is still in session, and they will say, okay, we don't need to work on separation.
Dickens today asking that state leadership give him the latitude to make changes.
I want to make sure that the city has a great relationship with the state, and where we can agree, we go forward very hard in that direction, and where we disagree on policy and principle and the programs, and we don't disagree about it as people.
Governor Brian Kemp tweeting his congratulations. The two spoke as Dickens met with state leaders about moving the city forward today.
And I know both of the candidates worked very hard. I just extended my congratulations, also letting them know that I'm looking forward to working with them on all of these issues that are important to people in the city of Atlanta, our capital city, but also to our state when you think about crime, economic development, transportation, logistics.
Current Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms stood beside Dickens, clapping and nodding as he gave a victory speech. She tweeted her congratulations, stating, "The future of our city is in good hands." Dickens spending the day thanking supporters from Buckhead to Southwest Atlanta for making his dream come true as he steps into his biggest role yet.
We can be one city with one future.
Dickens calling himself the unifier. He added that he and his opponent Felicia Moore are friends. He says that she has a future in Atlanta government. He's looking to continue meeting with local officials and supporters as he sets in this victory to be the mayor-elect. Reporting live in Buckhead, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.
Haley, we brought you first at 4. We've now learned the crash that shut down parts of I-85 is now deadly. CBS 46's Alan Devlin back at the breaking news desk with more.
Sean, and not just deadly, we've learned that a minor is the victim in this crash right now. It'll be hours before it's cleared there on I85 North. Right now, all lanes are blocked. Chopper 46 was over the scene moments ago, giving us a look at exactly what we're dealing with. It does involve a truck, and as you can see, that white car right there. This is near mile marker 124, where we can see many of the lanes blocked. It actually looks like they were letting a few of the cars through there right now. Southbound is moving, but very, very slowly at this time. Traffic has been redirected to the Hamilton Mill exit. Now, let's switch over to a live look here. We can see, as I said, all lanes continue to remain blocked. Right now, they're on 85 North. Traffic moving very slowly again in the southbound lanes. They say it won't be until about 7 o'clock until they are able to clear this wreck out as they continue to investigate. Again, one person, a minor, has died in this crash. We are working to learn more at this time. They're asking you to avoid the area of I-85 North near mile marker 124 for the time being. From the breaking news desk, I'm Alan Devlin. Back to you.
Alan, thank you. Hundreds gathering outside the Supreme Court today, where inside justices discussed potentially overturning one of the court's most famous cases. Arguments underway over a Mississippi abortion law that bans nearly all abortions after 15 weeks. Georgia is among several states at risk if Roe v. Wade is overturned. Right now, abortions in Georgia are available up to 20 weeks into the pregnancy. But the heartbeat bill passed in 2019 would have banned most abortions once a detectable human heartbeat is present as early as 6 weeks into pregnancy. That law is being challenged in court. CBS News' Skylar Henry is live tonight in Washington, D.C. And Skylar, a major decision looming over the court tonight.
That's right, Tracy, and many on both sides are waiting with bated breath to see kind of how this all shakes out. Earlier today, thousands were out here demonstrating, making their voices heard as to why they believe whether to be either pro-choice or pro-life. Now, we heard those oral arguments, interesting dialogue from the justices today. Chief Justice John Roberts, who tends to be one of the more moderate justices, saying this, that the Mississippi case wasn't a dramatic departure from viability and that 15 weeks should actually be enough time for women to make the decision over when or if they want to end a pregnancy. Meanwhile, some of the more liberal justices on the bench saying that this is about optics and reversing Roe v. Wade could ruin the court's reputation. Protesters were divided by metal fences outside the U.S. Supreme Court. Inside, justices heard oral arguments for the most consequential challenge to the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision on abortion to date.
Life is worth protecting from conception.
We're moving towards a society where we're forcing people to give birth, and that's not the solution.
At the heart of the case, known as Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization, is a Mississippi law that bans abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy.
This is a wonderful opportunity to return this to the people.
This case is a major test of the High Court's 6-3 conservative majority, with a decision expected before summer of next year.
Why should this court be the arbiter rather than Congress, the state legislatures, state Supreme Courts, the people?
They're going to be ready to say, no, you're just political. You're just politicians. And that's what kills us as an American institution.
21 conservative states have already passed laws banning all or almost all abortions if Roe v. Wade is overturned, while 16 states are working on legislation to protect access to abortion.
I support Roe v. Wade. I think it's a rational position to take.
A recent CBS News poll showed a majority want the Roe v. Wade decision to stay as is. Now, the demonstrators that we spoke to today, one who was pro-life, one who was pro-choice. The one who was pro-life said that they were actually skeptical over whether the justices would actually reverse the case. Meanwhile, those who were pro-choice said that if the justices decide to reverse the decision, reverse this landmark case, it could set a dangerous precedent for other states around the country. Tracy?
Skylar, thank you. New details tonight in the death of a Douglas County teen.
Her brother now charged with her murder. CBS 46's Yasmina Alston has the latest information.
A family is mourning the loss of Kyra Scott, a 14-year-old who loved to dance around and always had a smile, according to a family member who shared these photos. The Douglas County teen was shot and killed over the weekend inside of her home on Vicky Lane. Her 13-year-old brother, Wilson Brandon Scott III, charged in her murder.
But all this come about from what was going on inside the home. Now, this kid is 13 years old, but he's making weapons. We're talking about semi-machine guns.
The Douglas County Sheriff's Office shedding light on the tragic case. According to Sheriff Tim Pounds, Scott's 13-year-old brother was selling a weapon he made to two people who came to the home. But instead, the sheriff says the two people stole the gun. Officials say Scott's brother then fired another weapon at those two people, but hit his sister instead.
So sad for such as that to happen, because a mother losing two kids at one time.
19-year-old Yosef MacArthurell was one of the two involved who has been arrested. Sheriff Pound says they're still looking for the second person. Meanwhile, a community is left grieving. The Douglas County school system, where Scott was a student, said in a statement that the loss has been unbearable. The Douglas County District Attorney saying there will be justice.
Kyra Scott, by all accounts, was a beautiful and kind soul.
And the sheriff's office says because this is still an active investigation, they're not going to release who all was in the home at the time or who knew about the weapons. In Douglas County, Yasmina Alston, CBS 46 News.
Thanks for watching CBS 46 News. Watch us live wherever you are, our mobile and our streaming news app. You can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.